We're going to go through and review Unit 1 notes. We're going to start here with number 1. We're going to write the expression 10 less than x. I always like to put the numbers and any variables and any symbols that I see, except for this reads 10 minus x. The key word here is than, which means to switch the order of things. So it's not 10 subtract x, it's actually x subtract 10. It's 10 units less than what x is. Number 2, we're simplifying the numerator and the denominator, and then we will divide. So 50 and 20 is 70, 20 and 15 is 35, and then I'm reading top to bottom, 70 divided by 35 is 2. Number 3, we're actually going to look on the inside. Go ahead and just use the notebook page underneath. All right, and we're going to do number 3 here. We're going to, the question reads negative 5s, and that's plus 10x. And it tells me that x is 2 and that s is 3. Don't let it trick you here. It asks for s first. So negative 5 is being multiplied by 3, and I'm adding 10, which is being multiplied by 2. Negative 5 times 3 is negative 15, plus 10 times 2 is 20. Negative 15 going up 20 gives me a positive 5. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put that on our page. All right, I am going to grab another pen. Number 4, we're also going to tackle in here. If you're reading it, it reads that at a movie a ticket costs $6.25. A drink costs $2.75 and a candy bar is $3. What is the cost of 2 tickets? If 1 drink and 1 candy bar. 2 tickets, $6.25 each. I'm also getting 1 drink, and I'm also getting 1 candy bar. And all I'm doing is adding those across. 2 tickets will then cost $12.50. Plus the drink, plus the candy bar. So $5.75 plus $12.50 is $18.25. And we'll put that $18.25 here. Okay. Number 5 is just asking us to simplify. The only thing that we can simplify there is by distributing. This 4n is 1 term, so 5 times 4n is 20n. The n and the 4 are not separate. They are 1 unit. They are 1 term. Okay. Then that's my answer. Number 6. There's nothing I can do in these parentheses. They're mostly there to trick you. So what you can do, though, is combine constants. Okay, I have a 6 and a 5 that I can combine together. So I'm going to leave my 10x, but I have an 11 there that I can put because I've combined already. In number 7, you can obviously use your calculator for that. I just want you to pay attention to what it should look like once you're in there. The biggest thing to remember in the calculator when you're dealing with fractions is to put them in parentheses. So parentheses 5/6, and I'm adding to it a negative 2/3, which is hard to see there, sorry. Okay. Now, it's giving me a decimal. To turn it into a fraction, I click this math, and then enter, enter. Okay. So then that's 1/6. Okay, and so you might want to write calc and then math and enter. to make sure that you remember to turn it back into a fraction. Number 8 is having the -4 be squared. In order to do that, I'm just taking -4 and multiplying it by itself. -4 times -4 is a +16. You can also do it in the calculator. There's a reason that -4 is in parentheses. If you just said -4 and you squared it, that's just saying like -1 times 4 squared, okay? So those parentheses really do matter. Number 9, excuse me, I said 19. Number 9, what is x divided by y given x and y? I would never write it vertically like that. That would be really tall. But I have a -3/5 that I'm dividing by a 1/2. And again, y'all, let's go ahead and put that into the calculator. If we have it, we might as well use it. That's a -3/5 being divided by a 1/2, which gives me a decimal, but let's turn it into a fraction. That's -6/5. Excuse me. Okay. 10 and 11 are also asking us to distribute. Making sure in number 10 that 7 goes to the 3 and to that -4. 7 times 3x is 21x. And 7 times -4 is a -28. That's all you needed to do there. You can't solve for x because there's no equal sign, excuse me. In 11, we're distributing the negative. It becomes a -3y and a +4x. A negative times that negative is a positive. In number 12, you're going to combine like terms. I only have one thing that has a y squared, so I'm going to leave that. -5y squared. I have several y's. I have a 9y and a 3y. That's a +12y. I'm adding those together. And I've got some x's. I've got a 3x and a -2x. Adding them together gives me just x. And then lastly, I have a -10 and a +5. There it is, which gives me a -5. There is nothing else I can combine together with those. 13, money a company receives from sales of their product is represented by this equation, where y is the money and x is the number of products. So how many products? If it's asking the question, that's what we're finding here. Products is what I'm looking for. That means I'm looking for x, because in this situation, x is products. In order to receive, this is money, and y is money, this is y, that's dollars. Let's plug that in. 1690 equals 30x minus 110. Okay, just solving for x. Add 110 to both sides. And then I have 1800 equals 30x. Divide both sides by 30. X equals 60. I needed to sell 60 products to make $1,690. Number 14, we're going to do on the inside here. Just make it a little bit easier. There's more room. Number 14 should actually say which is not a solution. Okay, so which is not a solution to y equals -15x. A's answer choice is 2 and then -30. Remember, this is always x and then y as your ordered pair. So -30, put it in a different color, negative 30 equals negative 15 times 2. Negative 30 equals negative 30. That works. So that isn't not a solution. That is a solution. All right. B says 40. Y is that 45, and then x is negative 3. Well, a negative times a negative is a positive, so that works. So B works. Let's do C. Do it over here. C says that negative 75 will be equal to negative 15 times negative 5. Well, as we just said here, a negative times a negative is a positive. So that does not work. So C is not working, and let's double check D just to be sure. D says that 60 will be equal to negative 15 times our x value is negative 4. I'm just plugging in the x and the y into our equation right there. Well, negative times a negative is a positive, so that D does work. C is the only one there that does not work. All right, 15 and 16, that was C, are going to be done in the calculator. We are going to learn how to put a table into the calculator to find an equation and then manipulate it as we need. So in order to do so, we need an x and a y, and then we're going to go to our calculator. So we have to go to stat. Oh, you can't see that. Stat, and then enter. And I'm entering my values. I'm just clearing this out. My x values are Kim. She's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that goes into the L1 column, or the x's. Into L2 is your y's. That's 4, 6, 8, and 10. Once your values are in, you might have to watch this several times to get this through. We're going to stat. Again, use the arrow over to calc, and you're going to use number 4. I just click on number 4. It comes up, and I'll press enter. I'm substituting for A and for B. So my equation is 2x plus 2. Now you can do that same thing for 16 and then plug in for the white. If white is going to be 80, how many red would there be? There's probably an easier way to do that, and that's just extending this pattern here. If there are 80 white, I see that my white are going up by 10s. So 50, 60, 70, 80. This is an easy one to predict. My red is also just going up by 10. So 40, that'll be 50, 60, and 70. You can see that the white are 10 less than the white are 10 more than the red. So how many red are there going to be when there are 80 white? There will be 70.